Hey everyone! Today I want to talk about ways to build confidence. I think this is an extremely important topic, especially for women, and especially for people who have let a lack of confidence get in their way. And I've definitely been that person before, so I just want to speak openly about both psychological strategies that you can use to try to improve your confidence, but also things that have specifically worked for me. Because I do think that historically I've been that person that's questioned myself. It's actually gotten in my way. It's something that I've even gotten many different comments on from many different people, specifically supervisors within my time working in academia and giving therapy. And I think they even saw how at times a lack of confidence got in my way. And I think when it gets to a point where even other people are noticing that it is getting in your way, it's kind of a wake-up call that it's time to build that confidence and to find ways to actually put your best foot forward. I think I've been somebody that has been afraid to put my best foot forward at times, and I've always valued humility in others. When I see it in others, I really admire it. But I think I took it too far, and it also didn't necessarily make me a more humble person, if that makes sense. It just made me not confident. And I think you can be humble and confident, although it's a very fine line. But I think I just didn't always believe in myself, and it kept me from performing to my best ability. That being said, there's a happy end to the story, which is that I've really grown to start to believe in myself in a real, meaningful way. And I also think I've used specific strategies and approaches and behavioral changes to make myself appear more confident as well. And that almost breeds more genuine confidence. As they say, fake it till you make it. So I really want to share the strategies I've used that have truly transformed my life. I'm not saying that lightly, and I don't share these lightly. I think confidence is something a lot of women struggle with. I think believing in yourself, not letting society tell you you're not as smart or as gifted or whatever it is, I think we deserve to feel good about ourselves because we have things to bring to the table. So I want to talk about confidence and thinking about it in sort of a new way. So if you're interested, do stick around. If we haven't met before, hi, I'm Aylin, and this is my channel, Slice of Light, where I talk about simple living, building an empowering mindset, and a little bit about photography and videography. If any of those topics sound interesting to you, please hit the subscribe button. I don't have many subscribers. And also, if you end up liking this video, hit the thumbs up button. I'd really appreciate it. So this first strategy is one that actually a previous supervisor gave to me, and I've implemented it, and it's really, really helped me. And this is a supervisor who is really fascinated by positive psychology. And positive psychology is this area of research that really focuses on how to improve our well-being by creating more happiness, basically, for ourselves and positive thinking. And the piece of advice that my supervisor gave me was at the end of every workday, think of one positive thing you did that day. And I know it sounds simple, but actually try doing it right now. What's one positive thing you did today, or let's say yesterday, because yesterday maybe was a full day. What was one positive thing you did yesterday? And I remember the first time she asked me to do that, I couldn't think of one positive thing I had done that day. And I think that was a wake-up call. It took me a long time to come up with one because my thinking was so negative and just entrenched in focusing on what I had done wrong and what I needed to fix and what I needed to do better next time. And it was a wake-up call for me. I needed to actually practice, first of all, noticing the positive things I did. And then it made me realize that I needed to actually focus on the positive a little bit more. Also, because if I do something well, it's far more powerful to try to reinforce that in myself in order to do more of that positive thing. Positive reinforcement is more powerful in behavior change than punishment. So rewarding yourself for something good that you did is going to be more powerful in actually getting you to do more of that and do better than just simply punishing yourself for messing up at something. And so I wasn't even taking advantage of the power of positive reinforcement, and I also wasn't enjoying my successes or the things that I did well. I was instead just focused on the negative. And the things that she told me that really stuck out was, if you don't start looking at the positive things you're doing and enjoy them and actually derive happiness from them, you will burn out. And so it really was an aha moment for me that I needed to actually put effort and energy into thinking about the things that I did do well. And so that's something that I started to do, and I think it was hard to remember to do it, but if you can tether the behavior to something in your environment, like say every time on your drive home from work, you think about one positive thing you did, or at night when you're brushing your teeth, think about one positive thing you did that day. I think it's going to be beneficial because otherwise you'll forget to do it. But if you really start to implement this strategy every single day, I strongly believe that after a period of like 2 weeks or 3 weeks, you're going to notice a positive change in your mood. Now, it may be hard at first. You might struggle to think of one positive thing you did. But I promise you, there is something that you did well. Even if it's as simple as give someone a smile or open a door for somebody, you did do something that was positive that you can be proud of or that you can feel good about yourself for. And I think there are probably humans out there who naturally do this and are just good at focusing on the positive things that they did. But I think if you're watching this video, you probably fall into the category of people who tend to second guess themselves more than they really should. And so I would urge you to just try this. And don't think of it as not being humble. Think of it as actually a form of self-improvement because, like I said, positive reinforcement is far more powerful than punishment. Really try to help yourself grow by focusing on the positive. And when you think about that one positive thing you did that day, I'd really urge you to linger on it for a little bit. Soak in the emotions of how it made you feel, how you feel now thinking about it, what that says about you as a person, and just spend a minute or two soaking in that good feeling. I really think not only will this be a strategy that improves your confidence, but it will also improve your mood. While we're talking about confidence, I think it's important to recognize as well that confidence isn't just this one-size-fits-all thing or an across-the-board thing. So there might be some areas that you feel more confident in and other areas of your life where you feel a little bit more insecure. I want to acknowledge also that that's normal. I think this belief that maybe we were taught growing up that there are some people who are just confident and others who are just not confident isn't true. If you actually think about it, there's probably some area of your life that you are a little bit confident in, that you feel like, oh, if someone threw me that task, I could do it. And so I think it's important to recognize that if you're watching this video, you're not starting from nowhere. It's not that you have absolutely no confidence, but it's about building confidence and building a sense of competence and that you're able to do things and recognizing your own strengths. It's also important to recognize that confidence, even within any of these areas, can dramatically shift over time. And that's kind of the whole point, that the more you do something, the more confident you're going to be at it. Because really a lack of confidence is kind of a form of anxiety. You're worried that you're not going to be doing well, or you're worried you're going to fail or mess up. But if you can realize the reality that actually everybody is sometimes not confident in some areas and confident in others, and that the secret to building confidence in any area is to just try over and over again and expose yourself to that area more and more. And I may have talked about this before on this channel, but that's the whole principle even of exposure therapy for anxiety, which is one of the most effective approaches to therapy for particular kinds of anxieties. So for example, if someone had some kind of debilitating fear of snakes, you might have them look at pictures of snakes. Maybe eventually you'd build up to going to the zoo to see snakes, or maybe you'd even end up holding a snake to overcome that disproportionate fear of snakes. And I really think that principle applies here, that if you don't feel confident in an area, recognize that it's normal and that maybe you just need to get out there and do more of that. So if you notice you have some social anxiety, maybe it just means you really need to work on initiating conversations and being in environments where you might have to talk to people. Whatever it is, find ways to build that confidence by throwing yourself in. And it also doesn't mean that you need to throw yourself in the deep end in the hardest possible situation. Maybe it just means giving some aspect of that area a shot and seeing how it goes. Another way to build confidence is to recognize when you are engaging in negative self-talk. Things like telling yourself you can't do that, or you messed up, you didn't do that well. Whatever it is, saying negative things to yourself, blaming yourself for poor outcomes of situations, or finding reasons why you could have done something better. Of course, we should all reflect on how we can improve as humans. But again, I think if you're watching this video, you probably fall into that category of people who constantly try to improve themselves and never are satisfied with who they are in a given moment. I think it's important to recognize that who we are now is not who we will always be. Think about it. 10 years ago, you were a different person than you are now. Like honestly, subtract your age by 10 and imagine who you were. And then look ahead and imagine who you're going to be 10 years from now. They're all very different people. Now they have a similar core, they maybe have similar values, maybe similar traits, but ultimately people do grow. And I think what happens as humans is we fall into the trap in believing that like who we are now is the final product and that we'll kind of just like coast with who we are now for the rest of our lives. Instead, having that growth mindset, I do love to talk about a good growth mindset, but recognizing that like we're all a work in progress, but like why not also enjoy the strengths that we have? Why not enjoy the progress that we've already made and be excited for who we are going to become? I read this article about how Matthew McConaughey talked in a speech about how he always sees himself in 10 years as his hero, as the person he strives to be. And I think that's such a healthy mindset of instead of like being down on yourself about what you've done wrong in the past, thinking forward to what you could be and really striving towards that and having this idea that you can grow and you're excited to grow. I think approaching life that way can be really powerful. You don't have to be a perfect final product right now. It's about what you're doing, the behaviors you're choosing to engage in that bring you closer and closer over time to that ideal self. I do think maybe I've gotten a little off topic with the idea of confidence, but I guess my point is to recognize that you are not an insecure or a confident person. You are a complicated human. Why not enjoy your strengths and your accomplishments and really spend more of your life focused on those things? Basically, you don't need to beat yourself up about not having confidence, and yet you can also improve your confidence by focusing on what you like about yourself. Like, have you figured that out? Have you figured out what you like about yourself? Maybe you need to spend a little bit more time thinking about what it is that you're proud of. I definitely think that over time, I've built so much confidence. I think even the fact that I'm making this YouTube channel, or the fact that I've been pursuing new types of jobs and creative opportunities, I think it reflects that I'm starting to believe in my value as a person and that I actually have something to bring to the table. So hopefully if you try to implement some of these strategies as well, you can start to feel a little bit better about yourself, and hopefully it'll allow you to take some more healthy risks in your life, risks that are values consistent and are meaningful to you. Thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Again, if you ended up liking this video, do hit the thumbs up button and feel free to subscribe. I hope that you got something out of this. If not, at least know that you are not alone with trying to build confidence and that sometimes it can be hard. We're all in this together, and have a great rest of your day. Bye.